What's up YouTube? It's RJ Harbuck, founder of Harbuck Media, here with another video on this topic of whether or not businesses should start creating videos in the year 2022. Today I want to talk about what video platform your business should use if you are considering creating videos in 2022. Now before we get started, if you wouldn't mind, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber already, please become a subscriber and hit that notification bell so you can be notified of any upcoming videos. And if you wouldn't mind, leave us a comment with any questions that you have on this topic. We want to create more videos like this to help you expand your digital marketing strategy and create video content for your business. And so if you have any questions, we want to be able to answer those either in the comment section, or we might even decide to turn it into a video and give you a full-length explanation. But let's get into the video today.
Oh, fire and water meet, going down deep. Sing, bury me, carry me. Far beneath, down to the river.
So the question for today is, what platform is best to host my video content on as a business? And the simple answer is as many platforms as we can get your video content on. The more platforms we're able to get your content on, the more eyes we're able to get that will be able to see it, the different demographics we're going to reach. Each of these platforms, they specialize in reaching different people groups, different demographics, and then they also have different restrictions on things like quality, formatting, time length. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to create multiple different types of video for these multiple platforms. What I like to do is take a long form video, host it on something like maybe YouTube, and then cut that video up into smaller sound bites to be formatted for specific social media platforms. So what are the mainstream social media platforms that you are able to host video content on? Obviously, we have YouTube. Facebook is another big one. LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and then the new kid on the block, TikTok. It may not be practical for you to host your videos on every single one of those platforms and the multitude of other platforms that there are out there, as well as your website or maybe a blog or whatever you've got going on in addition to your social media platforms. So what platform is best for you? Well, ultimately that's going to be up to you, but I would encourage you to pick a couple. Don't just do one. We do want to try to get your content out on a couple different platforms. And then, like I said, we can even cut your videos into smaller sound bites that can be reused on the same platform, but presented in a different way. This is a very effective way of generating more content from a single video take. When we're talking about social media platforms, we mentioned that they tend to attract different demographics, and there's a lot of information out there on that. It would be a good thing to maybe even do a little bit of research yourself, because when it comes to digital marketing, this is something that you should be considering, is who's my target audience and what platform is going to help me reach that target audience best. Typically, we see an older age demographic that interacts with Facebook the most. Facebook is often considered to be a very informative social media platform as well. LinkedIn obviously is a very business-centered social media platform. You don't have a lot of just regular people who aren't involved in business as a part of LinkedIn. Twitter obviously is used by millennials and a little bit of above that and below that, but it's definitely more of that 30s, late 20s, early 40s demographic that you see on Twitter. Instagram tends to be millennials and younger, so late 20s, early 30s. And then TikTok is the newest generation. That's your Gen Zs, your high schoolers, your early 20s that are using TikTok primarily. That doesn't mean that other people aren't using these platforms. They have every age group, every demographic on all of these social media platforms, but they do typically fall kind of in line with specific age groups and specific demographics that use them. One that I did not mention in this last grouping was YouTube, and YouTube's probably the exception to the rule that really reaches everyone, and I think that's probably because YouTube has been around for so long and has just such an immense library of video content available for all ages. Okay, so let's get into the next important topic, which is video length. What do these different social media platforms put as restrictions on the length of the video that you are creating? So Twitter will allow you to have a maximum of 140 seconds. So that's 2 minutes and 20 seconds that's allowed to be a video hosted on Twitter. Instagram Reels can be a maximum of 60 seconds, but IGTV, Instagram TV, can be a maximum of 15 minutes. Then you have YouTube. So for just the common person who's posting on YouTube, your maximum video length is actually 15 minutes. That's not a super common, well-known fact, but YouTube kind of cuts you off at 15 minutes. But once you become a verified account, that time limit is moved up. YouTube just recently started a new branch of their brand called YouTube Shorts. These are very similar to TikTok and Instagram Reels, and they can be a maximum of 60 seconds long. LinkedIn will allow you to host native videos for a maximum of 10 minutes. Facebook will allow 240 minutes. Facebook is the longest, allowing you to host videos up to 240 minutes. And then TikTok just recently moved theirs up from 60 seconds to 3 minutes. So now TikTok allows you to use that vertical format. We're going to get into that more in just a minute, but allows you to use that vertical format video for up to 3 minutes, up from Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, 60 seconds. Then there's also the option of live streaming. You can live stream on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. There's a lot of other companies out there that allow you to live stream. There's a lot of companies that will allow you to, with a subscription, will allow you to set up a live streaming service and then host it on your website. And those might be something to consider as well. I'm primarily focusing in this video on the mainstream, the biggest of social media platforms. But with live stream, it varies from company to company, but typically you're looking at 4+ hours worth of content that you were able to create uninterrupted. There is also a quality issue. When you're talking about Facebook, Facebook typically cuts videos off at 720p. So that's that lower end of high definition videos. That's not even 1080p. When you're thinking about videos, there's a lot of different, qualities, and we don't need to necessarily get into that today. We will talk about that in more length in a future video, but do know that Facebook is probably the lowest quality that you will be able to host your videos with. When you are dealing with a verified account on Facebook, someone who's famous, and maybe a celebrity or a streamer of some kind, they do allow you to increase that quality of video, but typically they cut you off at about 720p. YouTube, you can go on up to 4K. Instagram will only do 1080, but only 30 frames per second, not 60 frames per second. I'm sure that's something that they might increase in the future. Your iPhone today will allow you to record 1080p, which is HD footage at 60 frames per second. And if you do that and you try to upload that to Instagram Reel, it actually comes out kind of wonky looking. It can have some flickering and flashing, and that's because Instagram is not optimized for that 60 frames per second. So these are all things that need to be considered when thinking about creating video content for your business and what platforms you may already have and what platforms you want to host those videos on. So we've talked about what the platforms are, the demographics that they primarily target, the time limits that are restricted on the videos, and even the quality issues from social media platform to social media platform. The last thing that we really need to discuss is formatting. When it comes to these different social media platforms, some of them are geared towards vertical videos. These are videos like on your iPhone or any smartphone device. So these videos are that straight up and down vertical format, whereas other video platforms primarily support horizontal. That's your standard TV style video format. And then you even have the kind of oddball. Facebook one of the best video formats that do well on Facebook is square. So neither horizontal nor vertical, but because of the Facebook timeline, when you're scrolling through Facebook looking at new posts, square videos, square formatted videos do really well on Facebook. Now, that does not mean that horizontal or vertical videos do not work well on Facebook. In fact, they still do work really well, but for whatever reason, Facebook has noticed that square videos, square formatted videos, just do a little bit better than horizontal and vertical. I don't know that it's really enough to say that you should only do square videos on Facebook. In fact, I would not feel confident saying that at all. And if you are not at a point where you can hire an editor and you have no ability to really edit these videos on your own, filming in horizontal with a camera or filming in vertical with your phone, these videos will still do well on Facebook. LinkedIn is going to primarily focus on that horizontal. YouTube, primarily speaking, you're looking at horizontal. And I would say, generally speaking, if you're talking about a long form video, when you're talking about 5, 10, 15 minutes worth of content, you're probably going to shoot for filming in horizontal format. It's really only when we're talking about 60 seconds, 30 seconds, up to 3 minutes that we're going to look at that vertical format. What you're going to see those on primarily is going to be Instagram and TikTok. You are going to see those on YouTube with the new YouTube Shorts. The other place that you'll see this work really well is your story. On Instagram, on Facebook, and other platforms like this, you can post stories. And these are little clips, and depending on the platform, it can be anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds, but you can string these clips together to make a longer video. But these are a totally different type of medium that are used to convey content from person to person or business to business. So, which format is best for your business? The short answer is both, because they are primarily used to reach different demographics. They're used differently on different social media platforms, and they typically exhibit varying lengths. It's a good idea to use both. My favorite thing to do, I said this at the beginning of the video, is to make a long form video, take in a 10-minute or 15-minute conversation, and then cut that down into 3 to 5 sound bites that are 60 seconds, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, these are really popular right now amongst the younger generation. And what you see often is people who sit and scroll often for an hour or more without realizing it. But then those long form videos, they still hold a purpose amongst social media. And what they are really well at doing is passing on information, reaching a group who's wanting to learn more. And then these videos can be used to host on your website. You can put them inside of proposals to send to potential new clients. So what does this mean for your business? Well, we need to consider the demographic that you're trying to target. That's the first thing that we need to do, because it's not really practical necessarily to be on every single social media platform. So what platforms are you already using? What types of videos are doing best on those platforms? Should you consider being a part of another social media platform, maybe even specifically for video like YouTube? Maybe your business doesn't have a YouTube channel, but you're thinking that maybe this is a smart idea in the year 2022 to start recording video content. In that case, maybe it would be a good idea to start a YouTube channel. It's very easy to just take your phone and hold it horizontal or hold it vertical, and now you've got that format for whatever social media platform you're going to target first. I hope this video serves you well. The goal is to make this content as easy to understand as possible. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. Like I said, we want to help you be the best business that you can be. We want to help you create the best video content that you can create this next fiscal year. And so if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer them as quickly as possible. And you never know, we may turn it into a full-length video and go into a lot of detail so that we can try to help you do the best that you can do. As I said at the beginning of the video, if you would please drop a like for us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on our other social media platforms, hit that notification bell so you can be notified of upcoming videos. I plan on doing a lot of videos covering this topic of how to create video content as a business in the year 2022. We'll see you next time.
Fire and water me, going down deep. Sing, oh, oh, bury me, carry me, oh, oh, far beneath. Down to the river.